All right, folks, let's talk about the future. Not flying cars or robot butlers, but something far more terrifying: social accountability. Specifically, what if your traditional majlis, that sacred space of conversation and cardamom coffee, suddenly had a TikTok-style dislike button? Imagine the horror, the sheer, unadulterated chaos. We're talking about a paradigm shift in social etiquette, a digital guillotine for the long-winded and the humble braggers. No longer could Uncle Rashid drone on about his prize-winning pigeons for 20 minutes without consequence. His monologue would be met not with polite nods, but with a cascade of digital thumbs down. The very fabric of polite society, woven from forced smiles and feigned interest, would unravel faster than a cheap sweater. It's a thought experiment that keeps me up at night, somewhere between genius and pure madness. Think about it, that moment when someone launches into a story you've heard a dozen times. Instead of a subtle eye roll, you could just tap, tap, tap. The collective disapproval would be palpable, a silent roar of digital dissent. The majlis, once a bastion of decorum, would transform into a real-time popularity contest. Every anecdote, every piece of unsolicited advice, every political hot take would be instantly judged. The dislike count would hover over each speaker like a digital sword of Damocles. Would it be a badge of honor for the truly controversial, a scarlet letter for the utterly boring? We'd finally know who the real conversational heavyweights are and who's just taking up oxygen. It's the ultimate social filter, a brutal but honest arbiter of engagement. Suddenly, the quiet, insightful individual who rarely speaks but always says something profound would become a majlis celebrity. Their dislike count would be perpetually zero, their like count through the roof. Conversely, the loud, opinionated relative who dominates every gathering would face a reckoning. Their digital disapproval rating might rival their actual blood pressure. Imagine the strategizing. People would start rehearsing their stories, timing their jokes, even curating their opinions for maximum approval. The majlis would become a performance art. We'd see the emergence of majlis influencers, individuals whose conversational prowess is so finely tuned they consistently avoid the dreaded red thumb. They'd be the new social elite. And what about the analytics? Would there be a leaderboard for the most disliked topics? Auntie Fatima's matchmaking attempts would surely top the charts. We'd have real-time data on conversational engagement. This story about your vacation to Dubai is currently at -57. The feedback would be instant, brutal, and undeniably hilarious. Imagine the post-majlis debriefs. Did you see Uncle Ahmed's dislike count when he started talking about his investment portfolio? Brutal. It would be the new gossip currency. The host might even get a host rating based on the overall vibe and the average dislike count of their guests. A low score might mean fewer RSVPs for the next gathering. But let's consider the human element. The fragile ego, the delicate dance of social interaction. Would people stop attending majlises altogether to avoid the digital shaming? Or would it breed a new kind of resilience, a thick skin developed from years of public digital disapproval? Perhaps it would force us to be better listeners, more concise speakers. The fear of the red thumb might make us more empathetic, more aware of our audience. Or it might just make us all incredibly awkward and silent, afraid to utter a single word. The majlis, once a place of comfort and connection, could become a minefield of potential social gaffes, each one digitally recorded for posterity. The pressure would be immense. Think of the arguments. Why did you dislike my story about my new car? It was a perfectly good story. The digital world bleeding into real-life conflict. Families would be torn apart, friendships fractured, all over a few taps on a virtual button. The majlis, a symbol of unity, would become a battleground of digital opinion. Perhaps it would lead to a new form of majlis etiquette. Please refrain from discussing politics, your children's academic achievements, or your recent medical procedures, unless you wish to incur the wrath of the dislike button. It's a dystopian vision, really. A world where every social interaction is quantified, judged, and publicly displayed. It's the logical, terrifying conclusion of our social media obsession. So, Maybe, just maybe, the absence of a dislike button in our real-life social gatherings is a blessing, a silent agreement to tolerate, to listen, to occasionally feign interest. It's a reminder that some spaces are meant for connection, not competition, for the messy, imperfect, unquantifiable beauty of human interaction. Because while the idea of a majlis dislike button is hilariously absurd, it also highlights our collective yearning for authenticity, for a way to cut through the polite facade. But for now, let's be grateful for the subtle cough, the polite yawn, and the occasional glance at the watch. They are, after all, the original analog dislike buttons, and they're far less likely to start a family feud.